The Dallas Mavericks recently made a huge trade ahead of the NBA trade deadline, bringing in star point guard Kyrie Irving in a trade with the Brooklyn Nets. Now, of course, this does give the Dallas Mavericks a second star next to Luka Doncic, but he comes with all sorts of off-the-field concerns, off-the-court concerns, if you will. That is why it is very curious to see Kyrie Irving request a 3-year max extension after the season with whichever team he signs with in free agency. Now, the Dallas Mavericks took a big risk here at the trade deadline bringing in Kyrie, but so far he's been worth the investment, and it seems like he's happy to stay in Dallas for the long term. Of course, we've seen other teams make their acquisitions ahead of the NBA trade deadline, and it seems like have already sewn up a lot of their free agency needs after the season as well. The Lakers, most notably, were willing to bring in a guy like Kyrie Irving, even considering the baggage that he has. They made their move, though, for D'Angelo Russell. Now, of course, they could still go after Kyrie in free agency if they're able to free up enough space, but it seems like Kyrie could very well stay with the Dallas Mavericks after the season. Now, the reason why a 3-year max is a little bit surprising anyway is because Kyrie Irving just hasn't been available for games over the past 3 or 4 years. Ever since signing that max deal in Brooklyn, the big three never really played together. I think they only played together in like 15, 20 games, something like that during the regular season. Possibly one of the worst big threes in NBA history, only having one playoff series victory in order to show for all their efforts. But Kyrie Irving wasn't available for a lot of that time in Brooklyn, and he is personally responsible for some of that record all on his own. Now, in his comments after the trade to the Dallas Mavericks, he said he did his job with the Brooklyn Nets. He kept them in the playoff race. He got them into the 4th spot out in the East. Okay, let's hold our horses a little bit. To say Kyrie Irving did his job in Brooklyn is being very loose with the term of doing your job. As far as being available every day, playing every day, staying in the lineup, staying ready, Kyrie Irving absolutely failed in that regard. He is correct. They were in 4th place when he left the Brooklyn Nets. He is absolutely correct about that. But nobody's fooling themselves and saying the Brooklyn Nets are in a better position right now without Kyrie Irving, without Kevin Durant, to be able to make a run at the Eastern Conference Finals, maybe even the NBA Finals. They're not saying anything like that. They're saying, hey, they got a good young core. They got a lot of pieces coming back after the Kevin Durant trade, so their future does look bright. But nobody's saying, hey, they're in the 4th spot. They could climb to number 1 because Kyrie Irving kept them in that 4th spot after a very tough first half. Nobody is fooling themselves saying that, and that's part of the reason why a 3-year max is surprising for him to be able to request after the season. Now, is he worth it as far as the talent? Absolutely. Nobody's questioning the ability of Kyrie Irving on the floor. The question is, are you able to keep him on the floor? And so far in Dallas, he's been able to stay healthy. He's only missed 1 game due to back tightness, and understandably, players are going to miss games for that. Nobody's sliding Kyrie Irving for anything that's actually legitimate. But for off-the-court concerns, those are, Twitter feed issues. Those are, issues that he has with management on the team, issues that he has with players on the team itself. That's the track record where Kyrie Irving doesn't necessarily have the brightest, if you will. You look at his time with the Boston Celtics, just kind of wore out his welcome there with both the team and the fan base. The Cleveland Cavaliers with LeBron James, he wanted out to be able to take over a team on his own. He was able to do that in Boston, and he said, nah, I don't want this. He goes to Brooklyn, able to partner with one of his best friends in life in Kevin Durant, and they only have 1 playoff series to show for it. So, again, what exactly are you getting with Kyrie Irving when you do sign him to that 3-year max? Because mark my words, he will get that 3-year max because of the ability that he has on the floor. And I guess that's where the team is right now. The Dallas Mavericks had to take this risk to be able to bring in a star player because they hadn't been able to do that successfully over the tenure of Luka Doncic so far in the NBA. Luka was absolutely behind this move, trying to add another star to this team, and so far he and Kyrie and Luka seem to be trying to figure things out. I expect they will. Luka's a great ball handler, so is Kyrie. Kyrie's a little bit better of a shot maker, so I wonder if they let Luka handle the ball and allow Kyrie to just make some open shots, maybe take some of the secondary ball handler work from him. But Luka looks like he'll still be the primary ball handler in Dallas. Now, the question for the Dallas Mavericks after this, if they're able to get that 3-year max with Kyrie, what do they then do? Do they try to turn around and keep Christian Wood here in free agency? Do they try to sign him before he gets to free agency? Or do they try to cut back some salary, save a little bit, and try to reinvest that money elsewhere in the team? Or the last option, which I think they should do, is go out there and make some other moves to be able to add some more talent to this roster, whether it be trades, low-risk signings, etc. I think bringing in another star-level player to Dallas would be exactly what the doctors ordered and give them a real leg up out in a very competitive but winnable Western Conference. Let us know in the comments section what you think about Kyrie possibly getting a 3-year max in free agency after the season. Where do you think he'll ultimately sign? I think all the reports right now indicate Dallas is likely to be his destination for the next few years. And what do you think of his pairing with Luka? Do you think it will work ultimately? Do you think it'll be a work in progress and ultimately work? Do you think it will never work? Let us know in the comment section what you think about the move Dallas made to bring in Kyrie Irving. And let us know, again, what you think about the possibility of Kyrie getting a 3-year max in free agency. Thank you, as always, for subscribing.